Hey everyone, this is Charlie Shrem, and you're listening to Untold Stories. This is a show where we dive deep into the lives and personal histories of some of crypto's most influential leaders and find out how the crypto movement truly came to be. Let's dive in. I'm super excited that eToro is sponsoring Untold Stories because the CEO of eToro has been tweeting about Bitcoin since 2012. That's true OG. Now, eToro has become one of the largest crypto companies in the world, with over $1 trillion in trading volume per year. U.S. customers can trade the most popular crypto assets with extraordinarily low and transparent fees. And if you're not ready to trade yet, practice building your crypto portfolio with the eToro $100,000 virtual trading feature. Best of all, you can connect with 11 million other eToro traders around the world, myself included, to discuss trading, charts, and all things crypto. Create an account today at eToro.com. Links are in the show notes. And build your crypto portfolio the smart way. This episode of Untold Stories is sponsored by Scott Offord, the creator of crypto mining. Scott's a broker of ASIC mining gear and helps people buy and sell their miners. He created a Bitcoin mining profitability calculator and an interactive ASIC hardware comparison chart that you can find at cryptomining.tools. It's the only free online tool for calculating profitability and days to ROI. That includes the impact of the Bitcoin block reward halving. The calculator lets you put in your estimated uptime to give you a more realistic profit projections. So check it out and find Scott on Telegram and Twitter at OFFORDSCOTT. That's OFFORDSCOTT. Links are in the show notes. Untold Stories is powered by Blockworks Group, the only event and podcast production company I trust. For access to the premier digital asset conferences and in-depth podcast content, visit them at blockworksgroup.io. That's blockworksgroup.io. I promise you will not be disappointed. When you hear the words Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and China, it brings about confusion for most English-speaking countries. Just because it seems like there's a lot that we don't know, there's a lot going on under the layers, and things move and act differently in China and in a lot of the non-English speaking countries. There's no better person to help us understand what went on in the early days than my good friend Bobby Lee, who truly is a trailblazer when it comes to bringing Bitcoin and bringing cryptocurrency to such a global stage. Bobby, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
I want to it's so great to talk to you now because even like a few years ago, um you were so busy every single day and there was such
hmm
craziness going on that you would wake up in the morning, I'm assuming, and say like, what now?
Yeah, it was. It was a crazy few years.
And I'm very excited to talk about a new company that you just launched, Ballet. And I've honestly no idea what it is. I got an email from you last week asking if I'd like to participate in a beta program, and I was just very excited
Yeah.
because to hear that you were doing something when you were the CEO of BTC China, BTCC, such a crazy times. So now you're launching this new company, and I'd like to hear. Please tell me about it.
Yeah. So we just launched last week. Ballet. We were in stealth mode for a while. We've been working on this since January of this year, 2019. And Ballet is essentially, after so brief history. I co-founded BTC China in 2013. I joined two other co-founders. The site started in 2011. We were the very first Bitcoin exchange in China, and in fact, for a while, we were the longest running exchange all over the world.
Not only that, but you were one of the largest exchanges by volume in the whole world itself.
Yeah, that's right. So I remember distinctly in the peak of 2013, that would be in the Q4, November December timeframe. Mt. Gox was still running, but at that time we peaked out, edged out in terms of trading volume. So for a while we were the world's largest trading exchange by volume. Um, So obviously, China has had its fair share of excitement and adoption for Bitcoin. In China, Bitcoin has always been more about the speculation, the trading aspect of it, and less about the payments or the store value. I think the frenzy was all over the trading, the high volatility, the prices, and all that. And then fast forward, so of course, the short history is that in December of 2013, China government came out with regulation policy, and that scared people. People thought Bitcoin was banned in China, and then we had a few years of the bear market, the Bitcoin winter, 2014 and 15, and then by end of 16, things picked up again. That's when Donald Trump got elected. Around the election time, prices went up again. And then by early 2017, that's when the government came down, cracking down again. So a quick anecdote is that they were they were upset that Bitcoin prices came back up above $1,000. So they came to our
What do you
office.
mean they were upset?
I guess it's maybe typical of Chinese government perspective that they want to control things. They think they're in control of everything. So the fact that Bitcoin prices went up without their approval or without their without their proposal, it was against their rules. So they came to us and say, "Hey, what's going on? Why are the prices going up again? Why don't you guys do something about it?" I mean,
Wait, so
not exactly in
I
those
want to
words,
hear,
yeah, but it was weird.
but I want to hear how this played out. Like who calls you
Oh,
when
it would
do they
be
just show up?
yeah, it would be the PBOC. That's the People's Bank of China. That would be the central bank here. So they have been essentially the so-called regulators overseeing the Bitcoin stuff since 2013. So prior to 2013, no one was paying attention, but by December, they took the lead, or they were appointed the lead by the central government to oversee anything to do with Bitcoin regulation. So again, because of the bear market, the winter in the subsequent 2 3 years from 14, 15, and 16, there was no action. They were nowhere to be found. But by early 2017, January, it was like the first week of January. They called us on the Sunday. They said, "We're coming in tomorrow morning." Um, on a Monday, or actually, they called us on a Friday. Sorry, they called us on a Friday. Our company was out on a. We all went to see a movie. I think it was a Star Wars movie, Rebel One. And in the middle of the movie, they called us. They were going to come in on Monday, and they brought like 12 or 15 people, lawyers and PBOC staff and all that. So that was a first surprise. Like, why all of a sudden you guys are caring about this again? Well, apparently it was because the Bitcoin price had just topped $1,000, so it got their attention again. And so the rest of the year, as if you know the history, the rest of 2017 was quite awkward. The exchange in China self-censored, and we stopped withdrawals, and then there was ICO boom. So at one time we're gonna do the regulations thing where they're gonna issue licenses. We got a preview of the licensing document and all that. That was in the late spring.
What was the plan with that and what happened?
Well, the plan was they're gonna give licenses to the top three exchanges.
I
Uh,
remember it was you,
yeah,
Huobi, and OKCoin, right?
that's right. That's right. That was the intention. Of course, they're going to open the licensing requirements to everyone. But I think they had in mind, essentially three will qualify, the rest won't qualify, kind of like that. Now that's just based on
Sure. Yeah, I think that was the
speculation, I
assumption
guess.
of everyone.
Yeah, yeah. So, but nonetheless, we were working hard to satisfy the requirements in that long document. That was in late spring, early summer. We talked to our investors and all that. We got support. Um, and June came around, May, June, July came around, and then there was no word. So apparently, we think the leaders in China had a change of heart. Either that, or that there's always two opposing forces. Maybe the other side got more credibility and credentials.
So you think within the party and within, the powers that be, there were always conflicting sides of what they would want, like an overall
Correct.
crackdown. But
Yeah.
isn't it within Chinese culture? And so one of the things that I kind of like about Chinese culture, it's like we're going to regulate, and then there is going to be a loophole, and we're going to regulate the loopholes, kind of like the junket system of
Yeah.
money in Macau. And can you explain for my listeners how that junket system works and what it's all about?
Are you talking about the Macau junket system?
Yes.
I don't have a whole lot of perspective on that. The
From what
junket
I
system, yeah.
from what I understand, and it's very rudimentary here because again, my understanding is probably not even close as good as yours. But from what I understand, because I've been to Macau, is there's a limit to how much money um, Chinese
Oh, I see what
citizens
you're saying.
can
Yeah, yeah,
move
okay.
into Macau.
Yeah, yeah. So Chinese citizens, because China is a the economy is state controlled, right? So it's a communist country. There's one party system, and the other factor is that there are capital controls, meaning that money and capital is not freely movable across borders. So citizens and foreigners have a quota of how much foreign money you can exchange into the local Chinese renminbi currency, the CNY currency. And there's a limit on how much you can convert in, and there's a limit on how much you can convert out. It works out, excuse me, it works out to about 50,000 US dollars on an annual basis. So Chinese citizens, if they leave China for vacation or whatever, they can only convert up to $50,000 worth of foreign currency. And Macau is considered outside of China's borders for capital controls purposes. So you can only bring the $50,000 worth of money to go gamble in Macau. So I believe you're talking about the junket system, the money, the so-called underground money tunnels, where gamblers would deposit the local renminbi currency with junket operators in China mainland, and then they can essentially draw on that credit when they get to the casino in
Yeah,
Macau. And
exactly.
yeah,
And I remember walking around like in Shenzhen and there were these like shops that sold like watches and very expensive things for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I was asking my friend, who would buy this stuff? Who's walking into a shop, and buying something for? And he's like, well, actually, the way it works is you walk in, you buy something for like, let's just say $100,000, but you don't actually
yeah,
take it. You then go to Macau, and then it's the same store owner. So then you basically
yeah,
borrow against whatever you bought in China, and
yeah,
then you can use that money for gambling. And once you're done, you give them back the money. And you get your money back. However it works. But and then so that
yeah,
seems like wow, it's such an apparent loophole. Like the loophole, people have storefronts in China, and
yeah.
basically he was explaining to me that the Chinese government actually regulates the loophole, so they know about it and like it's regulated. So I thought basically, like the way I thought things were going to play out, and I was very surprised it didn't, was that you would have, because you were having to do some crazy things, and I had to do things like this when I was running Bid Instant and I read somewhere and tell me if I'm wrong that, they, for the
Yeah.
example, they would ban you from using your corporate bank accounts. So what you would do is you'd create accounts for each customer individually and then trade and move the money into their own accounts before you would allow them to actually trade. And these were all basically like loopholes,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
the government would allow you to do them in a way.
Yeah, it's very common. I think it's not so much that they were allow us to do the loophole. It's more like basically the regulation was not very airtight. So they issued some regulation, but the enforcement was very what I call inconsistent. So if there's inconsistent enforcement, people find workarounds. So what you term as loophole can be more positively described as workarounds.
What's wrong with the term
Uh,
loophole? I think it's a pretty positive word.
yeah. So it's a well known. There's a well known saying in Chinese where they say when the government issues regulation, the people will come back with counter regulation to counter all the regulation stuff. So there's workarounds and loopholes and so on. So it's very common. And sometimes they come back and tighten the regulation, the rules, and then of course there's other workarounds around that. It's just a back and forth
You
system.
you mentioned something earlier about in the Chinese culture of gambling and speculating. Well, you said speculating, but I associate that with gambling. I've
Yeah.
heard that, in the US, we have Las Vegas. You frequently travel there. Um, but gambling is not so ingrained in our culture, but it seems like speculating and gambling is a lot more ingrained in the culture of China. Why is that? And what does that actually mean?
You know, I sort of see that. I've seen evidence. I've heard stories. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's.
Is
I
that just a
doubt
stigma?
I doubt it's genetics, but it is true that people of in Southeast Asia, Chinese in particular, I think they're more to fall in love, if you will, to like taking these risks, these measured gambling risks by speculating. Maybe it's in the blood, quote unquote. Yeah,
You know what's
I guess
interesting?
it's a cultural maybe.
You just said the word risk, right? And so I think I notice a big difference. I notice a big difference. I think that, I'm totally overgeneralizing here. So like I'm not being politically correct here, but I feel like in the US, and this is just a feeling, um, gamblers in the US are not aware of risks when it comes to gambling and speculating. We're not as informed. So it's just more of like more for the fun of it. And then people lose a lot of money, things like that. But I feel like in Southeast Asia, like you were saying, I feel like they're more aware of the risks. And so gambling is more of like, yes, we're aware of that it's risky and we're aware of the odds and we're aware of the edge, but it's still worth it to do it. But then you have a lot of people who are just completely not well informed at all, and that's where the government has to step in. Am I wrong? Am I totally wrong on that, or is there some truth to that?
It, it's hard to say. I mean, there's some truth there. I think generally speaking, I found that people in Asia, in China, have a more of a propensity for mathematics, for learning arithmetic and all that. So they're better with numbers. It's a very overalized generalization,
It,
but some
I know what you
certainly
mean.
that could explain why they're more eager to calculate the odds and stuff like that. But overall, if you go to Macau, I wouldn't say the people are overall statistical or mathematics wizards. Otherwise, I don't think they'd be there, right? It's sort of a little bit of both.
You're an avid poker player. I'm actually a terrible poker player, but I still find myself playing poker. But I like playing baccarat a lot, and I read that baccarat was actually a British game that um got really popular in Macau, and that's why it's so big now. And you could almost find baccarat in every casino in the world. But it's one of those games that has no strategy, there's no chance at all. It's literally 50-50. But you'll
Yeah, it's
see
it's more
people
like
sit
51-49.
yeah, but you'll see people there with their number cards, calculating plus or minus all these different things. And when I was trying to figure
Yeah,
out the game, I would sit there looking at the screen. And for those who've seen
yeah.
baccarat tables, know what I'm talking about, and they have no like, it doesn't help you. It's all chance.
Yeah, it's all chance, but there's a lot of superstition. People will take the cards, they'll peel them, they'll show one corner, show the other corner. It's
Has
it's it's amazing what rituals they go through. I totally see through it. It's a numbers game. It's 49-51. I mean, whatever the actual percentages are. The point
Yeah.
is the house has an advantage, and there's nothing you can do about it. But yet people are very superstitious. They try to pick trends and pick red and black. House and player, bank and player.
How does superstition play into the uh, Chinese or Asian crypto industry? Like, for example, exchanges having red as their color scheme, or calling them, 8 BTC is one company, or like numbers and colors. How does that play into it?
Well, I don't think superstition plays into the industry specifically, but it does play into the Chinese culture. I think Chinese culture, especially in Hong Kong, Guangdong province, there is a strong bent towards numbers, lucky numbers, and so on.
Are you following what's going on in Hong Kong right now, where as it relates to the crypto industry?
No, not specifically. Any specific events you're referring to? Hong
No, I
Kong
mean,
crypto industry.
it seems like Hong Kong has grown so much in the crypto space. There's so many companies based out of not only China but Hong Kong too, and even going places like Singapore. It seems like that's grown and that's still growing. I'm just curious. I follow a lot of companies on Twitter, like BitSpark, and a lot of different companies that are based out of Hong Kong, and it seems like they're still growing, they're still operating, they're still doing business in spite of the protest, because the Western media portrays what's going on in Hong Kong right now as like a virtual shutdown of the whole city.
I see. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the crypto scene in Hong Kong specifically. I've been in Shanghai for the last, what is it, 13 years now. So I go back and forth between the US and Shanghai.
So tell me about Ballet. Very exciting. You were in stealth for a long time. I want to hear everything about it. What you've been doing.
Yeah. So Ballet is a culmination of my experience in crypto. I've been in crypto for over 8 years now, 8.5 years almost. Um, and time flies. I remember just like yesterday. You know, 8 years went by a flash. I started mining Bitcoin myself in 2011.
And you feel
I,
old. 8 years.
yeah, time flies. I mean, it's like almost a decade, an epoch
I
in
know.
Bitcoin time. Ballet is a culmination of my experience for many years, and the reason I say that is I've done I you know I've dedicated myself full time to Bitcoin in terms of my career since 2013, longer than most people. Um, and what I have to say is that I ran an exchange, we ran a mining pool, we've done mobile wallets, that which was a custody wallet. We've even done launch physical Bitcoins under the BTCC brand. So I've been there, done that for many aspects. And this time, Ballet, what we're doing is we developed a really innovative solution to the what we think is the world's easiest and simplest, most reliable hardware wallet. It's actually, we think it's the world's first hardware wallet that is non-electronic yet has multi-currency support.
Tell me
So think
about
about
that. How does
yeah.
that
So think
work?
about that. So why do people go to hardware wallets? Well, first of all, why do people go to wallets at all? Wallets are needed for you to store and manage your cryptocurrency. In the old days, it was just Bitcoin. Now it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, and a whole bunch, because that's how people store and manage their assets. And of course, there are certain population who use crypto for trading and speculative purposes. But I've realized that for me, the single most valuable use case for Bitcoin is actually the investment aspect, to use it as a store of value. You invest in Bitcoin so the value goes up, sort of a hedge against the fiat currency. You follow me?
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. I think it's
Yeah,
definitely like
and
in one of the top utilities for Bitcoin today and crypto in general.
yeah, like I've done my fair share of buying things online with Bitcoin, but of all those purchases, in hindsight, they were all regrettable in the sense that I spent so many Bitcoins back in the early years, right?
And that's why no one
Um,
wants to spend Bitcoin anymore.
yeah, but of course, you can also have your fair share of selling Bitcoin to diversify and to profit take, right? So that's also fair. But my point is that the global market, the Earth, we have that 7 or 8 billion people now. How soon will they adopt Bitcoin? The 8 billion people probably don't need Bitcoin to buy VPN service or to buy whatever online shopping they can do, but it's a great way to have real money in their hands without relying on banks, right? So the notion that you can also hedge against inflation and currency's loss of value, right?
I think
So
that's what's going to happen in the future too. More, I think we're going to see the
yeah,
Bitcoin as a safe haven, but also as like,
exactly.
yeah, I agree.
As a safe haven. So Ballet, back to my company, what did we do? Well, we started from that outset. We want to enable global adoption, mass adoption of Bitcoin. But to do that, we really have to make it simple. We really have to make the storage and wallet management of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin very simple. Like, has to be brain dead, has to be so easy that a 9-year-old child to a grandfather or grandmother who's 99 years old, that they can use it. Okay. Today's class of wallets, I don't care if it's a mobile wallet, a hardware wallet, are great from a technical geek perspective, but they're way, way, way too hard. Okay. So what the insight was, what if we make a physical hardware wallet that was super easy? To make it super easy, we purposely decided to make it non-electronic. So as you can see from our website, Charlie, the Ballet wallet is a steel card, stainless steel, with the private key embedded inside underneath a tamper evidence sticker. So and then of course on the top of the sticker we have the public address, the actual Bitcoin address, if you will. What this allows for is it allows people to easily scan the QR code. By the way, the address is also printed on the top of the card so that people can verify it and type it in if they want to. But they can quickly deposit Bitcoins to it. So that way, if you bring it up to a Bitcoin ATM at a store, at a vending machine, or just a friend has a Bitcoin wallet, they can just scan it with their mobile phone and send Bitcoins over. So it's very easy to receive the Bitcoin. And once you receive the Bitcoins, this wallet, this stainless steel card, is now the actual bearer instrument. It has your Bitcoin. You don't need to remember any passwords. There are no accounts to open. There's no KYC process. There's no login, no passwords, no two-factor codes to remember. There's no 2FA. There's no SMS verification, so you don't have to worry about SIM hijacking, right? There's no account names and stuff like that at all. Everything's on that card. So it's a private key on the card and with a decryption passphrase. There's a wallet passphrase as well that's etched onto the card. So it's
How does that work?
Yeah. Well, in terms of what? In terms of retrieving the funds or in terms of storing?
So I understand how you would. So can you physically, you can verify how much crypto is on the card.
Yep.
And then you're using the actual card as a bearer instrument, and you can verify. So it's actually, the card is could potentially be passed from person to person.
That's exactly it.
Instead of having to transfer them offline.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that. For example, let's say you have the card and let's say you're nice enough to load 1 Bitcoin on there. So by scanning the QR code on top, anyone can verify that this address actually has 1 Bitcoin according to the blockchain. And by the way, we support Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, anything, right? Any other cryptocurrency, including Litecoin, Ethereum, and all that. So you can scan it, and then you can quickly check the blockchain. It has 1 Bitcoin. Well, so if you trust the card and the person giving it to you, you just keep it. You can keep it in the safe, store it at home. So it's great for gifting. So finally, you can give out these as gifts for birthdays, for bar mitzvahs, for Christmas, for weddings, for graduations. Any sort of celebration, you give it out. Even if you want to, for a propose to your girlfriend, you can give it out as a gift. Now, what happens is the cards are, because the card has the private key for your Bitcoin account that's on the blockchain. If you want to move Bitcoins out, you would peel that tamper evidence sticker. It will reveal the private key, another QR code underneath it, and you can scratch off the wallet passphrase, and then reveal the passphrase. So those two components together, using a mobile app, you can then send the Bitcoins anywhere in the world. You can send it to Coinbase, you can send it to an exchange, you can send it to another friend, you can send it to your other wallet. Make sense?
It makes sense. eToro is crypto trading made easy. It's one of the largest and smartest trading platforms in the world, with extraordinarily low and transparent fees. Join myself and 11 million other traders and create an account at eToro.com. Links in the show notes, and build your crypto portfolio the smart way. As a mining equipment broker, Scott Offord wants to make sure his clients are well informed and making data-backed business decisions. Scott created the only free online tool for calculating profitability and days to ROI for miners. It's a better way to compare the efficiency of various models of ASIC miners and to see how the price of the miner and the efficiency impacts your mining profitability. So, check it out at cryptomining.tools and find Scott on Telegram and Twitter at OFFORDSCOTT. That's OFFORDSCOTT. So, do you see people ever redeeming and not using the cards, or you think eventually the cards can become a collectible item, or it'll be used like for actual transactional or long-term savings?
We think it'll be used for actual transaction long-term savings. It's actually very affordable, right? So the cards, there's not going to be a premium on it. It's not. I mean, it can be collectible if you like it, but they'll be cheap enough that people can buy and give away, right? So it will be used on a daily basis. We think a lot of people will be using them for gifts. A lot of people will be using them to manage their assets. The great thing about this is you hear stories of people losing their Bitcoin because they forgot a password or they get locked out of accounts, or even if someone gets hit by a bus, right? The rest of the family or their children will have no access to the Bitcoins because it was all locked up in the passphrase held by the owner. But with this, if your Bitcoins are on these cards, as long as they're safe, it's great for what we call inheritance or estate planning, right? You can give it out. You could pass it down to your children and your grandchildren. So we really think we have an innovative solution that's really for the mass market.
Would you be selling them preloaded?
Unfortunately, we will not be. That's a great question, Charlie. And again, this is due to my experience, right? In the past, I ran an exchange. I ran a custody wallet. we've researched all over the world in terms of regulation, licensing, and all that. In many countries, including the United States, strictly restrict that if we're transmitting money, where if I sell you a wallet with money on it, or if I offer you a custody wallet service, whether it's in the state of New York or in other states, according to FinCEN, it falls under a money transmission guidelines. So we require a money transmitter license, or what they call a MTL or MSB, money service business. So to get a license, that's a state-by-state thing. And then in New York, there's even more complex, the BIT license. So in our case, we're not selling any wallets that has money in it. So these are empty wallets, no different than selling a physical leather wallet where you put US dollars in it. We're just giving you a container that instead of storing US dollars, you could store cryptocurrency. So in that case, we purposely designed our business model around the fact that we're offering a really useful product for the mass market that will not be regulated. So you don't need to tell us your name. You don't need to give us your ID. There's no KYC at all. Even a mobile app has no login, no passwords, no KYC. So our app is you just download it and run it.
I think you'll see like potential additions. You may like, because I have two sets of your full sets of your BTCC chips, full sets of
great.
them. They're like hidden away somewhere in an undisclosed location. You actually signed both. You signed
That's
both
great.
sets.
Yeah.
And they're dear to my heart. Like I'll hold them for forever. Do you anticipate launching something like that for this, where you have like specific versions, maybe like a rose gold or like a titanium version, or something that people can give? If you make like a rose gold one, I'd love to give one to like my wife or something.
Yeah, that's a great point. So let me just recap for your audience. Several years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, at BTCC at the time, we launched a series of physical Bitcoin. So we started with the one Bitcoin. It was a titanium coin. It was loaded with one BTC. At the time, this was before the Bitcoin Cash and all that forks. So it was one full BTC. And then we later launched the poker chips. We had a 5 BTC as well, titanium. We had the blocks, which were full block reward. We had the poker chips, different denominations, half a Bitcoin, a tenth of a Bitcoin, a quarter, and so on and so forth. So you got the color set. We had limited editions of those. So those are all sold loaded with currency. And there was a lot of logistical nightmares shipping it internationally, and also, money transmission stuff. So in the end, that business model was a little bit flawed. It was hard to scale, okay, because of the loaded nature.
But they were fun.
Very expensive. They were fun. They were great fun. They were insured. There's insurance aspects. They were a lot of fun. Collectors loved it. They're all sold out. Now they sell for a premium. I don't know, do you have the 5-color set or the 6-color set?
I have the 6-color set, I believe.
Oh, wow, awesome. So there were only 200 of those made worldwide, the 6-color signature set. They sell for over 2 Bitcoins today. So the set you have has 6-color chips in it, and the nominal value is only 0.641 Bitcoins, of course, with the 4 coins and all that. But today they sell that chipset. That chipset will probably sell for over 2 BTC today. So over $22,000.
The 5 chip set. What's the total denomination value of that?
The 5 chip is missing the purple half of Bitcoin, so it only has 0.141. So it's a black chip, green chip, red, blue chip, red chip, and a white chip. That's the 5-color chip. Yeah. So nonetheless, those were the physical Bitcoins sold by BTCC.
Yeah,
that business stopped. Yeah,
I just checked my list, and each set has 0.641. So I have the six chips.
6-color chips. Yeah, there you go. Congratulations.
Wow.
So
I'm holding those forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, they were great for gifts, right? You buy some Bitcoin, you give it to a friend. Now with Ballet, we're not making round chips. We're making these credit card size stainless steel cards. And you mentioned the rose gold. We will eventually release a high-end product under a different banner. The version today, the series is called Real, R-E-A-L. The idea is I'm giving you real Bitcoin. I'm giving you real Bitcoin, real Ethereum, real Litecoin, and this is real cryptocurrency. Yeah.
Do you know why I like this? Because so I'm a big like hardware wallet geek. I am. I think I own one of anything physically manifestation of Bitcoin. I own. So I literally have a drawer filled with every single hardware wallet that exists. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you can name me one right now. I own one. And I own
Awesome.
multiple, and I
Awesome.
give them away because I like
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
geek out and nerd out on them and play with them and stuff. Um,
That's
and
exactly
so,
it. That's
but
that's
what?
why you're so well respected, Charlie. You're such an early pioneer. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. I appreciate that, and I believe you are as well. And so, what I like about this though is because in my pocket currently, I don't have
Yeah.
anything. So what you're saying is basically it will be the same size and metallic feel as my American Express card. And so if I can
Exactly.
carry
That's
one,
exactly it. The titanium. Yeah. Exactly. The
if
platinum card. Yeah. So it will be same size as that. When you carry that, you might want to even carry two or three because you carry them either empty or whatever. And then when you meet a friend at a coffee shop or at a dinner, they say, "Hey, what do you do? What are your interests, hobbies? Bitcoin? Would you like to buy some? Or here's a small gift." You can immediately load it with whatever amount you want, $10, $50, $100, and hand it to that person, and they will now be a proud owner of Bitcoin.
what is it? What will it cost? What does it cost now for an empty one?
So I don't want to talk about it on the podcast. It's all on the website. You could go pre-order now,
Amazing.
right? So we've opened up a beta program. You could download the app. You could apply for the beta program. We're sending these cards out to all the industry leaders. So Charlie, it's on the way to you in the mail. So hope you receive it in the next few days. We're very excited. We just launched it last week, and the reason, by the way, I sold my company last year, right? I sold BTCC last year in early January 2018.
Tell me about that because I
And
heard rumors about that, but I wasn't 100%
yeah,
sure.
yeah. We
Congratulations.
didn't do a big, oh, thank you. We didn't do a big press tour. Essentially, we had a buyer from Hong Kong, a financial company, who was interested in our business. And they decided to buy the whole business out, the international business. That was in January 2018. The domestic Chinese business, we wound that down, closed it off. But the international business got sold to BTCC. That included the exchange, the Mobi wallet, as well as the mining pool. So they run that business. It's put over. So the point was, I made some good money selling the company. In hindsight, the timing was quite good, but it
Yeah.
wasn't exactly timed like that.
Are you
But
funding Ballet
nonetheless,
yourself, or
knock
you
on
have?
wood. Yeah, I'm funding it. We have some investors as well.
Isn't that the
It's
best?
very exciting. Yeah. So the point is that, you know, I've made some money in both selling the company and also from my early Bitcoin investment. So the point is, I don't need to work. I don't need to be an entrepreneur again. But the idea for Ballet was so compelling. So at the end of last year, I finally decided, hey, this idea is so awesome. I need to go do it myself. Like I don't think anyone else do it. They had 10 years, no one's done it yet, and I might as well go do it myself. So I launched this new startup right away in January of this year. Got a team together. A lot of people came from my old company, from BTCC, and we have a lot of experience doing this because we have experience building the physical Bitcoin and selling that. So in this case, we're not selling physical Bitcoins, but we are selling physical hardware wallets. So the innovation here is they're empty wallets, that they're non-electronic. The reason they're non-electronic, Charlie, is that looking back, all electronic wallets are cumbersome and they're prone to electronic failure. They're prone to security hacking. They're prone to battery power issues. They're prone to firmware upgrade issues, right? All the ledgers and treasures that could go through firmware upgrades. And a lot of times that could be a scary moment. And sometimes some of them have NFC chips, Bluetooth, pairing issues, and all that stuff. So I think they're great for geeks like me and you maybe, but certainly the hardware wallets that are electronic in nature are not necessarily suitable for the everyday person.
I
So we
agree.
purposely made Ballet wallets non-electronic and then resilient. Literally, you could put in the time capsule 20, 30 years later, you can come back, funds will be there.
I heard a great quote from someone, and I like that you keep saying wallet because someone said wallets are for like one thing, but vaults are for like more complicated. I forget the exact quote, but it kind of makes sense. Like the Trezor, Ledger, all these hardware wallets are great, but they're not for everyday use. They're not for like, you don't carry a Trezor in your pocket to show people and to promote advocacy for Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. But this is something that as I said, I'm excited about it because I literally will carry one in my wallet, and then it'll be fun to
Absolutely.
show people, or God forbid
Exactly.
that and you've probably experienced. I've traveled over 40 countries, and you've probably traveled to more.
Wow.
There have been times
Yeah.
where I've been in a pinch, where there have been times where like your credit card doesn't work, and what do? If you simply carry a card
Yeah.
with one Bitcoin on it, you can literally be in
Yeah.
Mongolia, anywhere in the world, in Africa, Morocco, anywhere in the world you could be. You can find someone willing to buy your Bitcoin. It's like gold.
Absolutely, or buy a fraction of it.
Yeah.
Buy a fraction of it, right? Not just the whole thing.
And that's why
that's exactly it. We will enable that.
That's why this is so important. I'm very excited for it. How did you design it?
So I think it will really enable more global adoption. I think if we're successful and if we catch the bull market well with timing wise, I think this can make a dent in increasing global adoption of Bitcoin, people holding it. So the design is this. Okay, the principle was we wanted to borrow from the physical Bitcoins. The notion that the private key is on the device itself, it becomes a bearer instrument. You think about it. Normal people, okay, not computer science geeks like myself. Normal people, they don't know how to do digital security. They don't know how to do passwords. They don't know how to keep passwords safe. They don't know how to do two-factor authentication. They don't know how to do chips and firmwares and security updates and patches and all that stuff, right? They barely know how to log in, and they don't want to do password resets and 2FA and SMS verification, right? So normal people actually know how to keep things safe. They keep it safe because they lock it at home. They lock it in the drawer. They keep it in the bank safe. You keep it in your pockets. Don't lose it. So the notion is we want to bring cryptocurrency, which is so virtual, bring it back to the physical world, make it into physical instance where we hand it to you, you hold it, you keep it safe. That's as simple as it gets. And again, children can use it, a grandparents and great-grandparents can use it as well, because you don't need any apps with it. We have a great mobile app as a companion tool, but it is not necessary, because as soon as you load the Bitcoin onto it, your card is loaded. It has value. You don't need to use the app at all unless you want to check the value, right? Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense.
So we designed it from that basic principle to be non-electronic. And then we chose a really strong material, stainless steel. We made it the size of a credit card to be compatible. But the card itself, there's nothing on it. There's no pin and chip. There's nothing like that. There's no magnetic stripe. There's nothing. All it has is a sticker with a QR code underneath it, and it has the passphrase. Oh, I want to tell you something really cool, Charlie.
Yeah.
With physical Bitcoins, people are really worried about the creator.
That's literally what I was going to ask next.
Yeah. We have the most awesome solution. We are the world's first to do this. Here's the awesome thing. You may have heard of BIP38. BIP38 is a industry standard that's been around for 5, 6, whatever years. Okay, it allows for the creation of encrypted private keys. Think about that. It's a private key that has an additional password. Okay, and what we've done is we've separated those two components. We've created the Ballet wallet from 2 locations geographically. The private key sticker is manufactured in China because that's where the supply chain is for the stickers and the steel cards. Okay, and then the password, the wallet passphrase, is actually manufactured and created in the United States in our headquarters in Las Vegas. Okay, so what I'm saying is you need both components to decrypt the wallet. Do you follow me?
I do.
There's an encrypted private key, and then there's a passphrase, a wallet passphrase. You need both components. And the way we do it is these two components are generated offline using entropy, we're rolling dice to generate random entropy to create these passphrases and encrypted private keys. They're done separately in different countries, thousands of miles apart, on offline computers that never touch the internet, on rotating magnetic hard drives, which you could delete and hammer out. So it's not stored on some SSD that's never erasable, right? So the two data never come together. They're never sent electronically. They're never sent on USB drives. They're never sent over email or internet. And they're literally thousands of miles apart. They never come together. After the product is made, the data is deleted. We delete it on both sides. So our company is not a custody wallet. We don't keep the private keys. We don't want to keep the private keys. If I had wanted to keep your private keys, I would have launched a custody wallet, which is what we did at BTCC.
Wow.
So for this startup, I purposely don't want to touch your private keys. It's none of my business how you use a wallet, how much money in it. We don't even keep track of how much you store in it. It's all up to you. Okay? But we make it super, super easy. We call this two-factor key generation. The key generation is
it's like literally, you should call it
kind of like
two-continent key generation.
Yeah, that's another way to call it, two-continent key generation, right? We think of it as a multinational, bifurcated, bilateral, whatever the nice words are, but it's a two-factor key generation. And we're the first to do that. Literally, it comes together for the first time on the card itself. Okay, but because of the tamper-evident nature, once it's on the same card, if you want to peek at it, you have to peel the sticker or scratch off the laser thing. But by then, the card is already ruined. It's not sellable. It's no longer in new condition.
So someone
Right.
will be able to know if the card was tampered with or even peeked at, and
Absolutely.
they will not accept that.
Absolutely.
How about long term?
That's exactly it.
Like, what about the paper or the seal? Will that last 20, 30 years?
We think it will. The only thing I want to be very, very, very honest and truthful is this is not 100% fireproof. Okay, because there's a sticker on it which can burn in the fire. So we think this is not fireproof. I don't want you to try the hard way, learn it the hard way. But the point is that it's waterproof. It's weatherproof to the elements. You could put in the time capsule 20 years, 30 years later, it'll still be there. Unless there's some quantum computer hack that'll break Bitcoin. But other than that, this is really good for long-term storage.
Wow. I'm very excited, and congratulations.
Yeah, I'm super excited. The way I see it is we're doing something, we've developed something really innovative, and I'm just throw it out to the market and see if it sticks. If it does, people love it, that's great. We're going to make some money selling it. If it doesn't, hey, I've tried my best. I think at least I've contributed to the society, to the industry.
I think it'll be very successful.
I'll use it myself.
Who are some of the going back for a second? Who were some of the first crypto entrepreneurs or crypto leaders that you met when you got involved in the space? Because you got involved in very early 2011. It sounds like so. I guess people came and met you, not the other way around. You meeting them. But what are some like early stories, early things that you kind of like you remember that kind of shape now your views of this industry?
Yeah, so I started in 2011. I started mining. So my brother Charlie, the other Charlie Lee, he introduced me to Bitcoin in early spring of 2011, and I started mining Bitcoin using some of the GPUs I bought from him. So I was mining Bitcoin in China, in Shanghai. I had a rig going with four graphics cards chugging along. I think I mined about 20 Bitcoins that summer. So it was just, like a few $100s worth of Bitcoin. I barely paid for electricity. And then 2012 was a quiet year. I was working at Walmart China, so I didn't do too much of Bitcoin then. But by late 2012, by early 2013, that's when I got into it full time. I left my job at Walmart and decided to dedicate my career to it. So the first Bitcoin conference I went to was the one in the spring. I think it was April or May of 2013 in San Jose.
I was there at that one too.
Yeah, you were there. Brian Armstrong was there. A bunch of like Eric Voorhees, all of you guys. Great. I'm great fans with all of you guys. You guys are the true OG. That was a lot of fun meeting you guys at the conference. My brother went. It was awesome. And of course, we saw the booth with BitInstant. You had a booth there.
We did. I think I joked to your brother on Twitter like a few weeks ago. I said, "What would we do without you?" And he said, I forgot what he said. He's like, "You'd be the only cool Charlie left," or something like that.
That's funny. Yeah. And what else? And Mike Caldwell, right? He's the maker of the Cetaceans, the very famous.
Yeah, we had him on the show.
Bitcoin. Yep. Mike Caldwell, awesome guy. I met him there as well. I bought my first Cetaceans coin off of him at that conference in person.
Hey, are you going to
that
be...
That was quite memorable.
Last year, I was in this poker tournament in October in Las Vegas, and your brother played. It was a World CryptoCon. Are you interested? Are you playing this year?
Yeah, how was that? I haven't signed up yet, but I'm interested. I'll be there for that time at the end of October. Yeah.
You should. I'm running my own event that day. A trading event.
Cool.
You should come to that event too.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll try to go to World CryptoCon. The Litecoin Summit conference is also there.
It'll be the same week.
So I'll be there for that.
But I'm not going to be on the same table as you though, because I don't want to lose. They put me next to Scotty Wynn last year. Here, I've probably played poker three times in my whole life, and they put me next to Scotty Wynn, who's taken me all in every hand. For those that don't know, he's top 10 poker players in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've never met him, but I've seen him on TV.
I'm never playing with him again.
Yeah, they go really aggressive, especially against new people.
Thanks. That's what you do probably too.
No, I'm not that good. I did play in the World Series of Poker last year, 2018. That was a lot of fun. I did that for the first time ever.
Share me some tips and secrets of how you play poker to make me a little bit better.
Well, for poker, it's a game what they call of incomplete information, right? Because you have two cards, they have two cards, and then there's the common community cards, the flop, the turn, and the river. But in the end, maximum you see seven cards, right? There's five on the board, and you have the two whole cards, and there actually actually two cards in the deck. You only have seven. You've only seen seven. So what cards can the other opponents have? It's a huge mystery, right? It's based on, you have to deduce it based on how they've acted, how they've behaved. Are they truthful? Were they trying to scam you? Were they trying to overplay a hand, and so on and so forth. So one of the insights is there's a concept called, you don't play your cards, but you play the person, right? You can essentially outplay someone just by outmaneuvering them, and making basically play as if you had a different hand.
Yeah,
and they
that's a
might
good
fall for it
point.
and believe you have a different hand.
That's a good
Right?
point. Sorry, you continue.
No, it's just that. Like when you said Scotty Nguyen was going all in on you, well, you knew, for example, Charlie, he's a good player, and you were thinking that he must have a good hand. He might just have queen three offsuit, and because.
So how should I have played it differently then?
I don't know. It depends on circumstances.
So I was playing
against what they call. Yeah.
I was playing a few weeks ago, and just like a fun game, and I noticed there's this guy at my table who just didn't like me for some reason. I guess because I was, he was there all the time, and here I'm a kid.
Yeah.
And it seemed like his goal was to like beat me. And so what I started doing was I started playing like heavy against him, and then when I had a really, really good hand, I started backing down on purpose to make him think that he had me, and then he didn't, and I beat him like, I think he had like three of a kind, but I had a better hand. I may have had like a flush or something or whatever it was, and he left. That got him out, and he was so angry.
Oh, I see. You took all his money.
It was like $100. It wasn't a lot of money, but
no. But that's a hard thing. Right? When you have a good hand, it's not hard to win, but what's really hard is to win a lot of money, right? Because not only do you want to win the hand, but you want them to feel in a way that they give you all their money, right?
Yeah,
so
the worst
really
feeling
hard about poker.
The worst feeling is having a good hand when everyone else already like folded and it's you and another like person or two, because then you can't build the pot. What do you do?
Yeah, exactly. That's why they say pocket aces aren't that great, because pocket aces, you win outright, but you don't necessarily win a lot of money. And the worst thing is sometimes you get really trapped and you lose a lot of money with pocket aces. Whereas like a suited connector, like a 10 jack suited or K jack suited, can win you a lot more money.
That's a good point. Hey Bobby, so how can people follow what you're working on and what you're doing? Oh, your Twitter, your website, all that information.
Yeah, my Twitter is Bobby C. Lee at BOBBYCLEE. On Twitter, our company Ballet is at Ballet Crypto, so it's BALLET
Where'd you come up with that name?
Why did you choose that? Yeah, Ballet. The reason is it's really unconventional, and we actually went through a lot of names, and finally we settled on this. We liked it for a variety of reasons. The number one reason is it's so non-standard for a crypto sort of finance company that what's great is in terms of trademark and purposes, there's no finance companies ever using the word ballet, right? And the other amazing thing is that it nicely describes our product and our sort of vision. It evokes a sense of simplicity and elegance. We think our wallet is so simple and elegant that really can reach to all corners of the world. Okay, and the word ballet is actually pronounced the same and spelled the same in multiple languages all over the world. It has instant recognition, and I think people will remember it. Ballet.
Wow, that's a great point. Lastly, I never thought about that.
Yeah. Which point?
Like that, it's a universal word.
Yeah, it is. It's a natural English word. It's universal. Ballet in French and Spanish, in many languages, even in Chinese, it's pronounced ballet. And then also, basically, it starts with the letter B, which we stylized to look at the Bitcoin B. So we made our own version of ballet, our own version of that B logo. So our app is called Ballet Crypto. Our Twitter account, Ballet Crypto. You can go to our website. It's really exciting. I hope your audience learns more about Ballet Wallet. They can find great use for themselves or for their friends. Go come to our website, pre-order it, or even apply for a beta program.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlie, for having me.
Thank you. I'll see you in October.
Yeah, let's meet up in Las Vegas in October.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. This episode of Untold Stories is sponsored by Scott Offord, the creator of crypto mining. Scott's a broker of ASIC mining gear and helps people buy and sell their miners. He created a Bitcoin mining profitability calculator and an interactive ASIC hardware comparison chart that you can find at cryptomining.tools. It's the only free online tool for calculating profitability and days to ROI. That includes the impact of the Bitcoin block reward halving. The calculator lets you put in your estimated uptime to give you a more realistic profit projections. So check it out and find Scott on Telegram and Twitter at OFFORDSCOTT. New episodes go live every Tuesday at 7 a.m. EST. Links to our Apple and Spotify channels are in the show notes. You can also follow me on Twitter, Charlie Shrem, to continue the conversation. See you next week.